We're just a few days out from the launch of the US HTC One, and in the office today, the Sprint version of the popular smartphone. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. This is the full review of the Sprint HTC One. Can it compete with the Galaxy S4? We'll find out in the full review. Carrier version numero uno in the PhoneDog offices. This is the Sprint version of the HTC One, packing 4G LTE capabilities, though for some reason, despite Dallas being an LTE market, I am not getting it in my office. Had all kinds of LTE connectivity issues with Sprint right here in my office, but great where I live and great all around the city in my testing with this device. I've had it for a couple of days. It's time to talk about it in the full review. But before we get into that, special thanks to Best Buy Mobile, because first of all, you can get this starting April 19th at AT&T or T-Mobile or at Best Buy Mobile on the 19th for $199 for the 32GB version. The great thing about Best Buy Mobile, when you walk into the store, they'll make sure you walk out working with your HTC One. You'll be Zoeing, you'll be blink feeding and doing all the stuff that you love about your HTC One thanks to Best Buy Mobile, and you don't even have to set it up, which is really a nice thing. So overall, from an exterior perspective here, you can see the device and it doesn't look any different from the international version, which I've got right here. You can see design-wise looks identical. There's no Sprint logos on the outside, no Sprint logos at the bottom. The only way you'll be able to tell that it's the Sprint device, obviously, is the 4G LTE indicator, but then some custom Sprint applications that, as you would expect, are installed out of the box. You've got couple of different goodies here. You'll notice, if you're somebody like me, a stickler for this kind of stuff, you'll notice immediately the flashlight application doesn't come out of the box. But what you do get is lookout security. You get mobile zone, you get parent dashboard for this, and you get kid mode as well. So that's nice. That feature did translate over to the US versions. Qualcomm's enhanced application. Then you get some Sprint stuff down here. Sprint TV and Movies, Sprint Worldwide, because this is a global device. You get Google Shopper. Then you get that TV application, which I love so much from the international version. I love it just because you can go and play with it in the office and turn the TV off in the break room and laugh like a 6-year-old and run away. But that's just me. TV application, which we'll talk about in just a minute, and visual voicemail, which is free for the basic service. The additional extended version is $199. So you've got some Sprint applications out of the box, and obviously when you pull down here, for whatever reason, the network ID is showing up as Print instead of Sprint, so I expect that to be fixed before the release of the actual device. But for sake of example here, Print, Sprint, whatever you want to call it, is down there at the bottom. So your network ID is there, and like I said, a 4G LTE device. I am in Dallas. It does usually sit on 4G, but right now, for whatever reason, hanging out on 3G, doesn't want to switch back over to 4G, but I haven't had any issues with that in actual testing. So let's jump right in and take a look at some of the Sprint stuff. For example, Sprint TV and Movies, you're used to this, most likely from other Sprint devices, so I can continue to watch free TV and free movies, and there are, of course, paid packages if that's something that you're interested in. You can scroll through here and see things like Parks and Recreation, 30 Rock, and other very popular shows, and you have live TV as well. So I can jump on the news, take a look at ABC Mobile TV, Fox News Happening Now, ESPN, on-demand stuff as well, and then I've got my movie tabs up here at the top. Again, there is a free version that comes out of the box that's part of your everything plan, and then of course you can pick up the extended version if you so desire. Sprint Worldwide, like I said, because it is a global device, you can call the number 1-888-226-7212 and activate this device when you're traveling overseas. So for those people that do travel, it's a great option to have. Specs-wise, same 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU, same 2 gigabytes of RAM, 4.7-inch 1080p HD display. No changes to the overall look and feel. Get the ultra-pixel camera on the back with HTC Zoe and Blink feed. All of that stuff still accessible via the gallery. As you can see here, my photos and my camera shots, and then of course friends as well. So I can go in, if I were connected to Facebook, I'd see a ton of different albums that relate to my friends. But of course, here are my camera shots as well, and I can organize these by album if I want to. I can share these, of course, and then I've got my HTC Zoe capabilities just like I do on the global version. So I can click on Zoe, for example. I can take a quick Zoe of the floor. As you can see here, when I play it back, it's going to play all the noise. Let's do this. Zoe of the floor. As you can see here, when I play it. And so Zoe's right there, and then of course that combined with shots throughout the day will make my HTC Zoe, as a result of being right up here in my photos. It'll say, you know what, 4/8/2013 from Dallas. Right now all I have is the Zoe, but I can continue to take some pictures and it's going to add to that album. So Zoe's a really cool feature. We talked about this a lot, and I didn't mean to, but I just took another Zoe. Take some pictures here just to bring the album up to speed and fill it out. Bunch of different pictures there, and what I like about Zoe is if you're in a wedding, you're at, perhaps the park with your child, or perhaps the park with your significant other, you can take a lot of different pictures and really make a Zoe that's something that's awesome and fun to share. So you've got 200 pictures from the day, really a neat feature that I like about the HTC One. You've got your boom sound on the front, stereo speakers on the outside, which is nice, and of course Beats audio integration as a result of the partnership with Beats by Dr. Dre. Also has a 2,300 milliamp hour non-removable battery. As you would expect with 4G LTE, in my time, I have noticed the battery life is a little bit less than the international version, though standby time continues to be good. I took both the international and this version over the weekend and played a kind of a series of standby tests and found that this one did drain a little bit faster. So keep that in mind. You're on LTE, your battery's going to drain slightly faster than the international version. So we'll run quadrant standard here so you can take a look at the benchmark. As you would expect, overall call quality continues to be great on this. Love the speakers on the back, or on the front rather, and love the noise canceling on the back is what I was trying to say. Great phone calls all around. People that I've talked to have been really impressed with the call quality. And like I said, having those speakers on the front make it great for speakerphone. They make it great for watching YouTube videos. Anything that involves sound, it's a fantastic experience. And I find myself, given I'm pretty deaf, I mean, anybody that lives near me or lives close to me will tell you that, or friends will tell you that, but I've been really impressed with the sound, and it's one of the few mobile devices that I have to actually turn it down, quite frankly, because it's so loud. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're used to another device and you think, man, this thing's really quiet, this is going to be a great device for sound, and that's something that HTC is really pitching in their messaging with the HTC One. So 11,242 in quadrant standard, so continues along with that great quadrant standard score as a result of that quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU. So really an impressive device. You got the specs, you got the gorgeous build quality, and Sense 5 is a drastic improvement over previous iterations of Sense. Blink feed is still here. No real changes to this from the international version, as you can see here. Got your topics and services, which PhoneDog, I'm proud to announce, will be in the topics and services under technology and science, and under either mobile or technology and science highlights. I just highlight all these and it shows up. So go into technology and science. If you get this device and you want your PhoneDog news on the fly with HTC Blink Feed, you got it right there. And much like the international version, this does default out of the box as your home screen, but you can of course do traditional Android home screens like I've got right here, and you can see I've set it as home. So it's good to go out of the box when I unlock it, or relock it I should say, and unlock it, it defaults right to the home screen. So really an all-around great device. I'll finish it out by taking a look at speed test here, and take a look at these speed test numbers. It's kind of interesting on Sprint because my office, I'm in a 4G LTE coverage area usually, but they're having must have some cell site issues up here, some sort of tower issues, because I'm getting speeds of like, and this is on 4G LTE, as you can see right here, 1.84 megabits per second on the download, 0.28 megabits per second on the upload. Then as you can see in my testing at home and around where I live in Uptown, you can see 20 megabits per second, 19 megabits per second, 24 megabits per second. So definitely just a cell site issue in this particular area of Dallas and North Dallas near Addison. You can see when I do test it throughout the city, impressive numbers all around, 19, 19, 24, 14, 12. So from an LTE perspective, if you're in a Sprint LTE market, it's going to be a great device all around. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the US versions of the very popular HTC One. I'm on Twitter if you've got questions for me, PhoneDog_Aaron, Facebook, Facebook.com/Hi Aaron Baker. We're inching ever closer to this device releasing on US shores, and I'm really excited because I think it is a great device and one of the best HTC devices we have seen to date. It's entirely new. I think a lot of people are going to like it, and I would love to hear your thoughts on Twitter or on Facebook or Google+, gplus.to/PhoneDog. Thanks for watching. Keep it locked right here for continuing coverage of the HTC One, and as always, we'll see you next time.